Tuesday, the 1st of May. Let's go up to Oroville and get an update. In the mighty Luscombe. Approaching Oroville here on the 1st of May with the lake level of 821 feet. Operators are allowing Oroville to continue to slowly fill to about 830 feet for this season. 2,200 CFS out and about 4,000 to 5,000 CFS in. With the snowpack being at just 39% of normal, most of the snow in the Sierra has already melted. What snow remains is mostly above 7,000 feet. John Lehigh, the DWR Water Ops Executive Manager, has done a great video explaining the operations plan for Oroville for this year. And they're going to start releasing water in July to meet all the water contracts downstream. And by the end of September or so, Oroville will be back down to about 710 feet. Here at 820 feet, you can see the water is up against the gates. And as we turn the corner, it looks like the gates are pretty well sealed up. Those gate seals were replaced in 2014-2015. So we're just days away from the grand reopening of major construction here of Phase 2 at Oroville. With the late April rains, that date was pushed back to May 8th. So here in the emergency spillway, the march of the roller compacted concrete continues, and crews are already beginning to remove the old concrete that was placed during the emergency, and all that will be replaced with properly tested roller compacted concrete. You can see here how the emergency spillway is split up into two phases, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Here's Phase 1, where the march of the roller compacted concrete continues. And here's Phase 2 of the emergency spillway construction, where crews are already beginning to bust up the old concrete that was placed during the emergency. This is what will all be replaced with roller compacted concrete. Here crews are lopping off the top of the secant cutoff wall and creating a second low spot for water to flow down the emergency spillway. The top of this shaved off secant cutoff wall will get a grade beam to anchor into the RCC, and here's what the secant cutoff wall looks like underground. Here's some great DWR footage showing work on the emergency spillway. Here's the march of the roller compacted concrete on the Phase 1 portion of the emergency spillway. Note the kind of lumpy finish to the RCC. And here's the work on the grade beam, capping off the top of the secant cutoff wall and tying in the secant cutoff wall structurally with the RCC splash pad and the eventual future RCC buttress on the downstream side of the secant cutoff wall. Again, this wall will be flush with the top of the RCC. And the whole idea of the secant cutoff wall is to prevent head-cutting erosion from ever attacking the emergency spillway again, if in the event that the emergency spillway is ever used. Coming around to the main spillway, if I can get the dang wing strut out of the picture, we can see the milling operation already underway on the RCC portion of the main spillway. Take a closer look at that. Remember, the RCC has kind of a lumpy finish to it, so these milling machines will smooth out the RCC in preparation for the structural concrete slabs, which will be rock bolted to the RCC foundation. Before the slabs can be placed, trenches need to be cut and the drains installed in this RCC section of the spillway. Also, the walls need to come down, the RCC walls need to come down completely and will be replaced by the structural concrete walls matching the rest of the design. They need to pull the RCC walls down in order to get the drain system worked out, and all this RCC material will be recycled back into the project. Now let's take a look at some of the blasting on the south side or left side of the spillway that's going on. Crews are having to scrounge up additional rock material to crush into RCC for the increased size of the emergency spillway splash pad. So here they are on the south side of the spillway, getting that material and processing it right here, and then trucking it all the way around to the emergency spillway RCC plant. Kablamo! Now let's go up and take a look at the upper portion of the remaining old spillway, the last section of the spillway to be demolished and rebuilt. They'll get on this project once the water drains below the level of the gates. Let's see what they're doing in preparation for this project. Crews are placing slope protection material, this chain metal fencing, over the rocks to protect the sides of the spillway and the crews that are working on the spillway below from any loose rocks that might be loosened up while they're working on the spillway. It'll also protect the spillway walls in the future. Any large loose rocks are being rock bolted to the side of the mountain. Big holes drilled through the rocks and rebar, epoxy, and grouted into the rock. This sort of slope protection is commonly found up the Highway 70 drive up the Feather River Canyon, along the steep canyon walls. Well, let's head back to the barn in the mighty Luscombe and get some gas. I gotta get ready for another trip with my day job.
Well, shoot, I didn't have the right mount to show you the landing this time, but let me assure you it was a greaser. Good breeze blowing right down the runway today. It was a little bit of a floater. Let's go get some gas. See you here.